The dumbest thing I did was when we were in Nashville and there was some random guy out there was like, do you want to come to this party? I remember it was dark, it was raining, and the car was like skidding everywhere. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. And there was this gun on the table, and I was just like, oh, maybe I've made a bad decision here. My Honda Jazz, funnily enough, was very good. Or the Honda Jizz, as I call it now. Basically, what I'm saying, any large decision a man makes in his life, he has to crack one out before he does it. Money is great and it helps a lot of things, but like my family's just fucked up.
Welcome to Under the Sheets with me, Tatiana Ashbourne, and all my friends. Laugh about it. Give it to me, baby. Learn about it. Love it or hate it. Let's do it. Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends. Hey Dirty Talkers, thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. I really appreciate it. For this episode with Neemah, please head to Spotify or Apple Music for the full episode, or stay with me on here for my favourite moments. Keep talking dirty. Welcome to Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends, brought to you by Dirty Talk. I'm Tatiana Ashbourne, and this is my friend. This is Neemah, everybody!
What about you? How was your first time?
It was great.
Yeah?
I enjoyed it. Yeah. No, sorry. No, I didn't. I hated every second of it, but it was a great...
Wait, no, hang on. That's suspicious, because... Why are you suddenly changing your tune?
It was...
Come on.
No.
Do spill.
No, genuinely. I hated it. It was awful, but with my best friend, planned it out, and it was the funniest thing, yeah.
Oh my God!
It was the funniest thing. Yeah, and we had it was great, but...
He was a bit of a womanizer. I heard he got around that group quite a bit. So hang on, so obviously your first time was with him.
Right.
Did you create any attachments to him because of that?
No, because he was always my best mate, and we always knew that was...
It was just like, sort me out, mate.
No, it was a bit nicer than that. Yeah, it was really lovely. We sort of planned it. We planned in the summer because neither of us had sex before. So we were like, well, why don't we do it together, see what it's like, rate each other.
Very organised.
Yeah, it was very organised. And yeah, did it, and it was awful. I never wanted to have sex again. I was literally like, what is this? I thought I knew everything, and I knew nothing. I thought from growing up in an open family with like older brothers, I thought they've taught me quite a lot, and so I expected...
What did Freddie teach you?
So I expected to know a bit, and yeah, it didn't. I knew nothing, but it was great, and I'm pleased that I did it in that way.
So how did you feel when, like, were you upset when you found out about these other people?
No, because it's the way of life. If for us and him, it was just, I know me and him have such a great relationship together now and love him to pieces, and that's what we're stronger because we're still best friends, and those guys don't speak to him, if that makes sense. So I think everyone needs to have their time. He's learnt a lot. He's a different person now. Still would do it again, I'm sure, but it doesn't bother me because
you don't need to ask guys.
Yeah.
I think they'd do anything, anytime.
Really? Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've done?
What is the craziest? The dumbest thing I did was when we were in Nashville, and there was some random guy out there was like, do you want to come to this party?
Oh, yeah.
And I went there, and it was just, I remember it was dark, it was raining, her tyres were bald, and we were going around corners, and the car was like skidding everywhere, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. And then, yeah, and there was just this room full of random people, and there was this gun on the table. One of them had a gun,
oh my
owned a gun,
goodness.
who lived there. And I was just like, oh, maybe I've made a bad decision here. But it worked out in the end.
Wow. Wait, but hang on.
Pretty good.
This didn't get around to the sex part.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, sex is sex, you know?
Right, okay.
I just meant that was the craziest thing where I was like, oh, God.
God, what happened
Maybe
now?
I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. That's terrifying. Most embarrassing sex story?
Freddie? Can you remember anything? I can't really remember. I don't think I've had an embarrassing one.
No? You perfect all the way through?
There's the occasional ones where, you know, when they've been, you know, building you up a bit too much and you go and it's like 3 times and you're like, oh, I'm going to finish.
Oh, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, oh, disappointing. But apart from that,
Yeah.
nothing too embarrassing. What about you?
Nothing.
See?
Yeah.
I think unless you're really inept and you don't know how to handle your own cock, like, nothing's bad is going to happen. But.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What else do I want to ask you? Oh yeah, best car to have sex in.
Best car to have sex in? Just something big. A minivan, probably. My Honda Jazz, funnily enough, was very good. Because you could put all the back seats down, and I had this like inflatable thing that you could put in. I remember there was Bush Girl. I called her Bush Girl. I met her in Guildford and knobbed her in a bush once. So she became known as that. But yeah, we went for many times out in my Honda Jazz. Or the Honda Jizz, as I call it now. That's what the seats are covered in anyway.
How did you meet this lady?
Oh, car park girl. Oh, thanks for coming in, Brittany. That wasn't embarrassing, that was just weird. I remember, do you know, what's the name of the club in Guildford? Casino.
Right, yes, yeah.
Just this girl I vaguely knew from school and just, we went up to this car park in Guildford, Bedford Road car park, in front of some flats on the top of there and just knobbed.
No way.
Yeah.
Why do you use the word knobbed?
It's just, that's what you call it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could say coitus or something like that. We engage within coitus.
But is there, because you're very humorous when it comes to talking about sex.
Well, it's like our friend group. We always say, oh, get your Johnson out or something like that, or why have you got your Corey out? We don't say, oh, penis or willy.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird, isn't it?
But then do you feel a level of uncomfortability when talking about sex?
No?
Maybe you should.
Oh. Oh, wait, I was going to go back. To the car thing you mentioned.
Yeah.
Do you find guys who drive fancy cars attractive?
But not really anyone our age drives fancy cars.
No, but just in general. If a bloke pulled up next to you in a Ferrari, he was like, all right, love, get in. Would you be tempted or?
I'm slightly concerned. No, they were get in like.
Not like that, but.
No, I don't know. I don't.
We've always debated this.
I don't know. There's definitely a level of, oh, why do you have the nice car? Or, oh, okay. I want to know more about. I'm more intrigued. And it depends why they get the car and whether they're showing off about it or not. I don't want them to show off about the car.
Would you sacrifice your morals for a bloke that's got a bunch of money?
No.
No?
No.
That's good.
Would you do it for a girl?
There's some people that would.
Would you do it for a girl?
I don't know, it depends. It's a lot of aeroplanes you could buy.
Yeah.
No, probably not, because after about a couple of years of the sort of excitement of the extra things that might bring, I think you'd hate your life. But
then if someone was with you because of your money, would you mind?
I'm going to be very disappointed. £12.60 in my bank account. I'm not going to buy much of that, am I?
No, but if you had a load of money.
Yeah, no, I think I'd hate that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, it depends how hot they are.
Yeah.
No, because I think after the whole excitement of, oh, she's got a cracking pair, wears off.
Yeah.
You think, well, actually, I want someone who means a bit more to me and isn't just with me for that. So, no.
Yeah, no, definitely. I get that. Makes sense. Tell me about your use of dating apps.
Oh. I used to love them.
Yeah.
There was a period in ACM when I was there.
Yeah.
It was before they started monetizing it.
Okay.
I think they were still growing.
Yeah.
So everything was free. You didn't have the swipe limits or whatever they have now. Oh, God, I was addicted.
Yeah.
I couldn't not be on it.
So me and Neemah have pretty much grown up together, and I remember you being obsessed with Tinder.
Oh.
You couldn't stop.
There was just something about the whole, dating someone that was quite exciting. And, the feeling you'd get, the adrenaline you'd get on a first date of someone who could kill you. I was like, oh, this is fun.
Wow.
Well, you don't really know. You don't really know who's coming on this date with you.
Right,
Well, they might be coming on this date with you. You never know.
But then would
They
you?
might be faking it.
But have you ever been stood up?
No.
No.
I don't think I've been stood up.
Yeah. Have you ever stood someone up?
Cancelled on them.
Last minute.
Not last minute. It was early enough where, you know, it was fair enough.
And why?
Because I cracked one out. To put it plainly.
Wait.
I'll be honest, that was why.
So how do you? Oh, you know what? No, this has always been the question I've wanted to ask you. Actually, so how do you have that conversation that you know that specifically this date is purely for sex?
No, that's not what I'm. Okay. Basically, what I'm saying, any large decision a man makes in his life, he has to crack one out before he does it. There is nothing more pure and clarity defining than post-nut clarity. And I think any man that's about to propose to a woman or buy a house or do something that's going to affect his life should crack one out. As the words of Matthew McConaughey in, what's that movie? Wolf of Wall Street. He was like, you've got to get those numbers up. I can understand it.
I see.
It enables clarity. I think that's what it was. I realised I was going on this date because I was a horny bear.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is wrong. I shouldn't do this.
Okay.
So that's more what I meant.
And have you changed?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like what you were doing was not, well, I would say obviously negative, probably, unless the woman was fully, that she was aware that it was just
I don't think I ever went out with someone and, you know, I was saying, oh, I'm going to marry you, and then non-term disappeared.
No, but was it something that some people go on dates and don't expect to have sex on the first date and then be left?
I didn't leave a lot of them.
Right, okay.
They went on, and I think it just got to that natural progression where we're like, does it want, like, something else want to happen?
Okay,
no.
okay.
Let's, you know.
No, every time.
But it's very complicated, isn't it, feeling? Especially when you're growing up. And as a guy, I think it's much more delayed compared to a woman. Mm-hmm. And your mental capacity and maturity to deal with these kind of things are much more depleted compared to a woman of the same age, I think.
Yeah.
I remember, like, really early on, someone sending me a nude. It felt very like, oh, you want a relationship with me? And it made me feel, it was very strange. Mm-hmm. But yeah, looking back, there's lots of things that I wouldn't do now that I had done. Yeah. And it's just part of growing up, isn't it?
No, definitely.
And there's that basic biology. I think guys are just always going to be obsessed with sex. Mm-hmm. They're going to look at a woman and be like, oh. It's just one of those things. Yeah. I think...
Do you accept the fact that women will do the same to guys?
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
But do you, and especially when it comes to then body count, do you care what a woman's body count is?
I think it's more about at that time.
Okay.
Like if you're dating someone who's constantly going and seeing other men and
at the same time.
Yeah, and at the beginning and you're like, oh, maybe she's not interested in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I get
People
that.
can change, you know.
Yeah.
It's all about the present moment.
Yeah. And how do you think you've overcome, or maybe you haven't overcome, your commitment issues?
I don't think I struggle with them at the moment.
Okay.
The older you get, the more you realise, I'm going to die soon, and that's very morbid, but, you know, you want to be with someone and you don't want to be old and not have a family or not have people that care about you. And so your priorities change. And the thought of going out and spending £100 on a night out just in the hopes of bedding someone, it doesn't interest me anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But what about you with the body count thing? Does that...
Oh, it doesn't bother me. No. Oh, obviously, if you're dating someone, it depends the level of what communication you've had between the two of them. But regarding not dating someone and you just end up being with someone, I couldn't care less.
Why are all the movies that women find attractive and really romantic about men cheating on their girlfriends with another woman?
How do you know that?
It's all those, like, is it Dear John? Is that the right one? And it's all about, like, men, like...
You secretly love these programs.
No.
Is it Dear John?
But no, that was an interesting thing. I don't know if that's anecdotal. I don't know if it's true or not. But
yeah, I don't know.
Is there some truth to it? Would you
I don't know. I know I went through a stage where I thought, and this is so bad, but I went through a stage where I thought it's acceptable for a guy to cheat on a girl and it's not acceptable for a girl to cheat on a guy. And I went, Dad's acting shocked. But I definitely went through that stage and I thought, oh, it happens. Like, things happen that I won't. Or I didn't really think girls shouldn't. I still think, no, like, I never thought that a girl, I don't know, it's tough.
Can I counter this?
Yeah, go on.
I'm not saying it's right, but I think a guy, if he's cheating and knobbing a girl, can mean much less than a girl having sex with another guy.
Interesting.
I feel like guys,
I've
it's
never
like
really
exercise or brushing your teeth sometimes to a guy.
But it doesn't make it acceptable.
I'm not saying it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, in a guy's head,
because of the different emotional.
I feel like most guys will think, oh, if she's cheated on me with this guy, she actually loves him. Or whereas I think in a guy's head, they might just say, oh, I don't like this woman. She's got a vagina.
Yeah.
That's very simplified and sounds disgusting.
But you make it. I mean, is it a good point? I don't know, because obviously it's not.
This isn't a question of whether it's right or wrong.
No, but I completely get why someone would have that opinion, I suppose. But it's definitely not acceptable. And I know that when I've discussed it with my friends have always been like, mate, have more value in what you give to a relationship. Whereas I've always been like, oh, look, if someone does cheat, it's a bit shit, won't want to be with you, but at the same time, it's. I still think life happens, and you've.
Have you still got mainly the same friends you grew up with, or because, like when I went to ACM, I noticed a lot of the girls, they would go through phases and they'd just be changing friends all the time, whereas the guys, they kind of stayed with their group and now they're still friends with them. Are you like that? Or?
I've got a complete mix, really. Yeah. I've still got a lot of good friends that I grew up with. Yeah, but it is interesting, and the same with body count. Is that I think that it doesn't matter whether you're a girl or a guy, but why, in my head, do I believe that for me personally, I think, oh God, do I want to sleep with this guy? Because it does mean I've slept with one other person. But that's just me. I don't care what another girl does. But for me, I'm annoyed that I think that. Like, why do I have that thought, being like, I should care for myself?
But it's a good point. It's not bad that you think that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
it's like, why are you sleeping with this person? Are you sleeping with them because, I don't know, because sex does mean something to me, but it also.
I think the more people you sleep with, the more it's difficult to settle down with someone. The more like partners you've had.
Okay, tell me more.
I think that develops your commitment issues more. It makes it more difficult to relax and settle down with someone and not think, oh, I could have this elsewhere, I could have that elsewhere.
But then do you not sometimes think that if you get it out your system, then you can then settle on one because you've experienced it, you've done it?
I don't know, men are interesting creatures. I think there's no getting it out of your system. I feel like it's better to be with someone that you've been with like early on in your sexual career and stick with them than it is to go and sleep around and then try and settle down. I feel like it messes with your head and then you start thinking about. It's much more difficult to settle down with someone that way, in my opinion anyway. But.
Yeah. No, I get that. And would you go back to an ex?
I've only had 2 girlfriends.
Okay.
Yeah, not many.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never really had they were both by accident.
Wait, what? Go on. Tell me more.
I never really went chasing after anything. They just both happened sort of arbitrarily.
Right, okay, so it wasn't like, oh, hang on a minute, I didn't realise I was in a relationship.
It was kind of like that. Like, it just ended up happening.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I was just, as you know.
Yeah.
Career mode.
Yeah.
But it was good for I look back and lots of the things I think, oh, I'm glad I did it. It was fun. In Spain. I know you weren't there. That was in your bedroom. Sorry.
Tell me more. In my bedroom?
Yep.
Go on.
Well, there was those 3 girls that came round after. It was very good because Richard bought us a bottle of champagne to give to them.
Right.
And we went and sat down with them. When we left the bar, everyone was cheering us.
Yeah.
It felt like an accomplishment. But then we went back and she and her friend were trying to do me at the same time. And it was like, no, I have a girlfriend. I didn't have one at the time. And so, yeah.
Wow.
Took her to town in your bed.
Yeah. So is that the closest you got to group sex?
I don't know. No, it was just 2 people. At the end of the day, her friend went to sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
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 No. Okay.
So it's fun.
Yeah. We're going to go to audience questions now.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.
Hey, you sexy bunch. Thank you so much for your continued support on the Under the Sheets podcast. Did you know that only 10% of viewers actually subscribe to the show? It would be amazing if you could subscribe and do your thing, share it, to get the message out there and to educate more people. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show and keep talking dirty. Big love.
How many people would be involved in your perfect sex night?
You mean how many people were organising it? Or?
No, like having sex at the same time.
Oh, I can't imagine that. Like, one's bad enough. How am I supposed to deal with 3?
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
So just one.
Yeah, 1. I feel like it's more fun. You got a connection with someone rather than just you're doing that and you got some random gash coming up from above you.
That's horrible. That's disgusting.
But that's what I imagine. That's the kind of word that I think of when you say like sex party.
Yeah,
like those kind of like gash, and it just feels very dirty and.
Yeah, they're not the dirty words that arouse you.
No, they
aren't. Finger in the bum or nah?
Oh, a pokey bum.
Yeah. Not a pokey bowl, a pokey bum.
Ash is famous for these.
Right.
So
You're dragging your friends under the...
we used to call him the pokey bum in ACM. But yeah, why not? I think it's kind of cruel how if there's a god, he put the male G-spot in the bottom.
Yeah.
So now if he wants to exercise, he has to go to Thailand.
So have you done loads of bum play? I didn't know how to make that
Bum
sound
play?
better.
Bum play. Trust me, you would not like to go near my bum.
So you don't like someone doing it to you?
I was just very, I'm Middle Eastern, or half Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
It requires a golf course level of maintenance down there.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you mind if a woman is hairy? No?
And he holds a goal. No, it's all right.
I shouldn't even laugh.
It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
just whatever they're comfortable with. If it's literally a jungle and it smells like it, then maybe a guy is obviously going to be put off. But
Right.
other than that,
Yeah. And you spend a lot of time in the Caribbean. Tell me about your... Do you? No, not
anymore.
Oh, not anymore, but you used to.
Yeah.
But tell me about the difference in culture between over here and over there.
lots of cheating,
Okay.
very overweight. I noticed in that.
In
There's
your
lots
area.
of maybe is it the diet there?
I don't know.
But I put on so much weight there.
Right, okay. Yeah, and does that
Lots of
make you
maybe
self-conscious
rice.
about your body?
Maybe because it all goes on my belly. So then I've got skinny legs, a big belly. It just looks horrible. Have you ever seen that meme where it's like a pug in jeans, and it's like the ultimate dad bod because it's like really thin legs and a big belly? It basically looks like that. But yeah, there was lots of cheating out there, and they love their whining. I had my first grind on a girl there, which was fun.
Very nice, very good. But it wouldn't be but I suppose with the cheating aspect, that's what they're used to. Is that something that...
It's a small island as well. Like everyone knew. I remember I was trying to make some headway on this girl, and then next thing I know, loads of people telling her
coming
stuff,
over.
and then she doesn't like me because she thinks I've been telling people those things
Right,
and
okay.
I haven't.
Yeah.
And I found that very annoying.
Okay.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Who's that from?
Do you think you'll be ready to have the birds and the bees talk with your kid?
Yeah, because I'm going to be a cool dad. I'm not going to be one of those boys, do this, do that. I'd just be like, if you're going to fucking shag around, do it, but wear a Johnny. Don't bring a unplanned baby back unless you're ready to look after it.
Yeah.
Treat the women with respect.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's your life, get on with it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you need to treat women with more respect, you personally, or not?
That's a question you've got to ask my girlfriend. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a dick. I don't know. Am I?
No, I know that, but I sometimes worry in the way that you talk about certain things and the way you talk about it is that a lot of people won't understand you or know that you are not, that you don't mean to say certain
That is
things.
difficult because in our friend group, our whole thing is taking the piss out of each other and being very rude, and
Yeah.
so I think when I'm with other people, I sometimes forget that.
Yeah.
So my term of endearment is maybe someone else's reason to call the police.
Yeah.
No, not like that. But like,
Maybe you should have more of a worry.
no, like,
Yeah.
not, I was just making a joke. But,
No, yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I
I might come across as rude, but I'm actually just being nice to you.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you.
Have you sent a dick pic?
Oh yeah, loads of time.
Yeah.
It is what it is, you know. You're there, you're lonely, you're sat there, you're like, oh God, Tinder's looking dry.
Yeah.
You message some girl that you spoke to for 3 days 2 years ago, and you hit it off, and then next thing you know, you send a bunch of pictures, and then you don't speak to each other again. Ever.
Yeah. Because sometimes I found it a bit shocking when someone would just send me an unsolicited one.
It is so easy. I feel like life for women, I get why it's annoying, but it's so easy to manipulate a man with sex.
To what?
Don't you think? Manipulate a man.
Right.
Would you say so? I reckon you could go pick someone on your Instagram follow list and be like, hey, I've liked you for a while, I kind of want to see your penis. I reckon they would just send it to you.
Really?
Men are easy.
And you being the easiest.
Not now, but back then, it wouldn't take much to convince me. But yeah, I think it's very easy to manipulate a guy with the thought or the prospect of sex.
But then does that not scare you?
In what way?
Well, are you not worried that you're gonna, a girl that you might then have a connection with, fall in love with, and then they can just, that you personally think that they could just fuck you over?
That's life. C'est la vie. You don't know, do you?
Yeah.
And that's, I think when you're older, you have to learn how to control your pant emotions, as you might call them, because you might be in a really good marriage with great kids and everything like that, and some woman with a nice pair of 34Ds comes along and says, your life is going to be amazing if you come and join me, and then you fuck up your whole life, basically, and you end up with that just because you're thinking about vagina.
Yeah.
So I think you have to control that. Otherwise, you're going to end up ruining your life.
And do you think you're the only person that actually speaks openly about that? Because I think a lot of guys, or guys that come in and talk about sex, a lot of them have different opinions or act in a certain way. Is it because they think that women want to hear it like this? Are you telling the truth about what a guy is thinking? Or do you think there are guys that actually
have you heard of a
Yeah.
song called The Shapeshifter?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's all about telling a woman what they want to hear so you
Right.
can bed them.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of that at the moment. It's quite difficult because as a guy, when you're trying to conquest something,
Right.
you focus on, what have I got to say to get this? I think it does take over your mind and your brain, and all your thinking becomes about that thing. So I think it is really important that you start thinking about the effect that your words have and really communicating with a woman what you actually want, so you don't waste their time or break their heart or anything like that.
No,
Is that okay?
That is okay. Has the father of a potential suitor ever threatened to beat you up?
I wonder who said that. That was interesting. That was at the Brickmakers. Good
Right.
old Bauer.
Go on, tell me all. You're naming all these people. I'm going to have to edit out.
Oh, really? Are you? Oh, my God, I'm sorry. A certain Turkish person.
Right.
Yeah. It was a party, dancing. Her stepfather, it wasn't even her father, it was her stepfather was there. And because I hadn't even done anything, I hadn't even touched her or we're just dancing, comes over and be like, you do anything with her, I'm going to beat you up.
Wow.
And that just spurred me on.
Yeah.
So I was like,
You
well, I
took
wasn't
it
planning on, but now I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
And
The rest is history.
yeah,
Wow.
she got it.
Did you get beaten up?
No? Well, no. I was going to make a really shit joke there.
It makes you do it again now.
Yeah, there you go.
Were you able to sort yourself out whilst on tour?
What?
Didn't you end up using it?
What? Wait. Can we read this?
Didn't you end up using a used condom found in Airbnb?
Who said that? No, I did not.
Right.
There was one time where we found a used Johnny in a bin, and we flung it, and it exploded on Johnny's back. It was disgusting, because this was before we even moved into the Airbnb, so just some random guy's spunk was all over his back. But I don't remember using a used condom.
Wow, okay. Interesting story.
There's not really much time to do that on tour,
Yeah.
as a bloke.
Yeah.
You've got stuff to do, you've got to learn songs, you've got to keep your guitaring skill in check, you've got to, can't be kissing women and getting distracted.
Yeah.
Eyes on the prize.
Yeah, definitely.
Eyes on the prize.
Do you believe career before relationship or?
No. I think money is great and it helps a lot of things, but like my family's just fucked up. No, can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, my family is fucked up, and no amount of good things or holidays or places in the Caribbean will fix that. And I wish I'd rather have a really close-knit kind of... don't get me wrong, they've done so much for me, but it's a bit of a weird family and like all the dynamics and like parents being split up and my dad knobbing someone who's way younger than him, and then she kind of sits at home all day and does nothing, and I have to go and work, and there's like double stay. Yeah. Basically, I think I think a strong family, and with a family, the mum and dad, if they have a really strong relationship, I think that translates into everything else.
Yeah.
And then if that's not the case, I think it leads to breakdowns, and it can affect the kids and everyone later on in life. So I think a relationship is more important than developing an income. Not an income, a career. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the same thing. Yeah.
There's no reason not to do both, but I don't think you should sacrifice having a happy family just to go in the pursuit of some pieces of paper that could be made worthless soon. We never know.
Yeah. No, it's very true. Very true. Do you use sex toys?
No.
No.
That's extra effort.
Yeah.
You have to clean them, and there's not enough space in my dishwasher.
In your dishwasher. That's so funny. I'm feeling like you should, though. I think it'd be exciting.
Not put them in my dishwasher.
No. Using sex toys.
I don't know, they look a bit intimidating. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
There's no wonder guys struggle nowadays. How am I supposed to compete with that?
But it's not about that. It's about the fact that it's a joint. This is enjoyment. This should be enjoying watching your female get pleasure.
I don't know, I don't think I'd enjoy that. It's just very
Well, it's not going up your ass.
Well, it could.
Yeah, unless you're keen.
Would you... Oh, sorry. Sounds good.
Oh, you're going to have to clean it now. It's been in your ear.
I'm putting it in my ear. Well, where else has it been?
Well,
There you go.
wouldn't you like to know?
But yeah, I think I'll give that a miss. Thank you very much.
Okay. I will have bought you a t-shirt to say thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, that's all right.
If I can find it.
Great start.
I feel like this could be true for you, but...
Real men eat ass. Eat ass. Are we American now?
Eat arse.
I think it would be quite cool if I had arse.
Oh my god, yeah, there's a mistake in my design. It is arse.
That sounds quite like, all right, I eat arse. Kind of, ass is like, oh my god, real men eat ass.
I forgot you spell it differently.
What do you mean I spell it?
No,
As a
it's
country,
meant to
we
be
all spell-
A-R-S-E, not A-S-S.
Would you eat arse though?
I've never done it and I don't think I would.
It's just a bit weird. Like, I get some people are into that, but unless you've properly cleaned, I don't want another mouthful of Green Giant. Thank you very much.
I don't even know what that is.
Green Giant, the sweet corn.
Ah, that's horrible.
Oh, I bet you regret bringing me on this now. I'm really sorry, I'm just struggling right now. I haven't eaten all day and this beer has gone to my head. I'm just here trying to breathe, let alone create conversation. I'm so sorry. I've ruined your show.
No, you're great. You're great. You've made it.
Thank you.
Guys, this is Neemah, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
If you want to be part of the show, whether it's on bed or as an audience member, please go to www.dirtytalkofficial.com and click Get Involved. Can't wait to see ya. Laugh about it.
Give it to me, baby.
Learn about it. Love it or hate it. Let's do it. Under the Sheets with Tatiana Ashbourne and friends.